Hello and welcome to the triumphant return of the MK Web, MK Dons Sport Podcast, back for the 2014-2015 season. That's getting underway on Saturday with a home game against Gillingham. I'm Dan Palmer, Sports Editor, here with Scott Kirk, MK Dons reporter. How's it going?
Good. Did you have a good summer?
Yeah, very good. Enjoyed the World Cup. It's great to have the club game back. It's nothing quite like this first week, is there? The anticipation, the build up. How do you think it's gone over the summer at Dons? A few new arrivals. Got Will Grigg, Tom Hitchcock up front, Carl McFadzean centre half. Danny Green is back permanently as well. A few departures as well, notably Alan Smith, Stephen Gleeson, and Isaiah McLeod. So a different look team, new hope for better really, because we were in contention until quite late in the day last season, but it's never really on the cards, was it? And 10th in the end. That's not a great return for MK Dons.
Yeah, I mean all season we were never actually in the playoffs. I don't think all season. We might have been early doors, but like August, September time. But my recollection of last season was that we were pretty much in 7th, 8th, 9th all season basically. Never really closed. Peterborough had a big gap to us in 6th, and we never really closed that gap. So but yeah, I think it's good. It's a new start, like you say, and I think that there were some experienced players who've gone there. But I went to the Dean Lewington testimonial match on last Sunday, and it looks really good. I mean, you've got to be careful what you take out of a friendly, obviously, because I think for that sort of game, Dons will have been a lot more up for it than Forest would have been, because they would have wanted to let Dean Lewington down. But Danny Green looks really, really good, I thought. And he's got that long throw on him. He can really, his set pieces are fantastic. So I think he could be a really, really good player for us next season. He looks really good. Carl McFadzean looks great at the back as well. And a direct replacement for Jordan Spence, I think, really. He's not afraid to say what he thinks to his teammates as well, which I think you need a bit of, especially in that position.
Yeah.
And and I mean, I've not seen much of Grigg or Hitchcock yet, but Hitchcock can't stop scoring in pre-season, which can only be a good thing. And Will Grigg looks pretty good as well. So I think there's some good additions in there. I don't think Alan Smith did anything last season. Isaac McLeod, for me, didn't do a right lot last season. And Stephen Gleeson was injured for a lot, and when he did come back, he didn't really look interested. And I think that central midfield pair of Darren Potter and Dele Alli is going to look. I mean, Dele Alli has filled out. He is massive now, and I think those two as a centre midfield pairing, it could be really, really impressive. So I think there's a lot of positives to take into this season. And I think, as usual, the only problem is going to be injuries. It's not a big squad again, which is why these extra players are desperately needed, I think, to be signed. But a few injuries, and you wonder where it's going to go. But let's be positive, and that team looks really good. And the Leicester friendly was on last night, but we'll have to see how that went. And yeah, I think it could be good on this season. It's got 0-0 written all over it probably this Saturday, though, isn't it? First game of the season, but I think there's reason to be positive, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Dele Alli there. I had a sneak look at when they returned to training a few weeks ago, and the lads are doing the bleep test in the inside the dome there at Woughton, and Ali was an absolute beast. He was one of the last 2 or 3 players left. So big things hopefully of him this season. I think
it's frightening how I mean, him and Potter, they're both over 6 foot, and I think just to look at them, it's very imposing. And I think, and it was good as well. I think Darren Potter being back is going to be a massive plus. I think he's a sort of player you don't really realise what you miss until he's gone. He just tidies things up, little passes here and there to get moves going and break other moves up. And I think having him back is going to be absolutely huge as well.
Yeah, I think the emergence of Ali is kind of means that the loss of Gleeson is finally going to have a crack at the Championship, which he's spoken about in the past. And it is fair enough. I think many are surprised that he lasted here as long as he did. He must have had offers to move up the level in the past. But if we can keep Ali at the club, then that should be a great combination of youth and experience
Absolutely.
sort of in front of the back four, then what do you think? We've already lost Brendan Galloway. He's gone to Everton. Having a transfer request. We're going to lose Ali as well.
I think
imminently, would you think, or is he going to be here for a little while?
I can imagine him staying for a little bit. I don't think Brendan Galloway's loss is that massive. Not really. But the only reason he was playing towards the end of last season, I think, really was because of the injuries.
I was wondering, would he be, if he was still here, would he be guaranteed in the starting 11 for the Gillingham game?
Not for me, not by a long stretch. I think the starting 11, the best starting 11 for me would be. I can't see him getting along the defence because you've got Hodgson and Baldock looking for right back. He's obviously not going to displace Lewington at left back. McFadzean and Kay looking very good at centre backs. Ali and Potter in centre mid, he's not going to displace them either. Yeah. So then Ben Reeves is going to be number 10. So then you may be looking at your wings and Danny Green, Dean Bowditch. I don't expect those two to start on the wings. Do you want Brendan Galloway on the wing? I'm not sure you do really. So I don't think he'd be even in the starting lineup anyway. So
like we've lost potential rather than anyone who's made a real impact.
Absolutely.
So far, I've never seen him boss a game for.
No.
Don's obviously a fantastic player for his age.
Yeah. But I think Don's. Obviously Don's had the hands tied when he hands that transfer request in anyway. But it's. I don't think it's a massive loss. If I'm totally honest, I don't think he'd be in the first team lineup anyway. And I'm not sure what he's going to get out of going to Everton now. Really, but he's going to get paid more, obviously.
Yeah, well, it said he's gone straight into their under-21 squad. For me, playing League One football would be better for his development than effectively a reserve division.
You'd think.
We'll have to see.
But do you care about the under-21 league as much as you would care about League One? If you're playing for a team there, I'm not sure you do.
Yeah.
So it's. But he's obviously. I don't think it's Galloway's fault. I think from speaking to Carl Robinson, it sounds like his head's been turned a little bit.
Yeah.
His agents sort of had a bit of an impact on this, and maybe the pound signs are there. But good luck to the lad. Obviously, it's a shame. I think it's a shame how it's all happened, really.
Yeah.
But because he could have been good, but. I don't think Dons are actually missing that much. Really.
Yeah, we've seen young players leave the club in the past and then not really get much football. Adam Chickson to Brighton.
Yeah, not seeing
been one of the main examples. I know he's had a few injury problems, but his career seems to have plateaued.
Yeah.
If you like. A couple of players who have come in, we mentioned Grigg and Hitchcock. I think the fans will be delighted to see two strikers.
Yeah.
That was a major problem, wasn't it, last season?
It was
the lack of goals, and we've got two with a decent goal scoring pedigree, Grigg in particular. A couple of seasons ago at Walsall, banging them in at this level. Northern Ireland international as well, I think. And Robbo said he might not be done with the strikers; he wants another one as well. So he's definitely trying to address the lack of goals.
And I think another thing as well is that obviously Bamford. When we think to this time last season, it was all Patrick Bamford, wasn't it? And he was fantastic for the start of the season. But you look at these players, Hitchcock isn't just on loan for 4 months, he's here. Grigg is on loan for the season. I'm not sure what's going on with the recall on that potentially, but it's a season-long loan, so it's not like the same situation where he's going to be going and So if they can get firing on the cylinders by sort of November, and then you're thinking, the difference last season would have been, we're losing our striker. What's going to happen now? Whereas this season's going to be, brilliant. We've got this lad for the season. Let's see if we can kick on. So I think that's really good. The players who have come in are not just loan players. They're permanent players apart from Grigg, and I think that bodes really well. But Hitchcock's been impressive. I mean, pre-season from the. Purely looking at the goals he's scored, he's scoring enough, so that's got to be great for a striker's confidence. And Grigg looks really lively up front as well. So Carl likes his hard-working strikers who put a shift in for the team as well. You defend from the front and that sort of thing. And Grigg looks to be that. So it's really good. We'll have to see what goes on with this new striker, if that's going to happen still. We were told it was going to be happening at the end of last week, and it's not yet. So whether that's still happening or not, I'm not sure. But I think it's really good. I think it's good that those concerns have been addressed, because those 6 home games without a goal were awful. We saw all of us in the media were 500 minutes have gone without a goal. Which is ludicrous.
Dreadful.
So it's good that that's been addressed, and hopefully they can hit the ground running on Saturday.
Yeah. So what do you make of the division this year? Obviously, a lot of Wolves have gone. Everyone thought they were going to coast to the title last year, which they did in the end with relative ease. Some decent looking teams still in there. Likes of a few fallen giants on at Sheffield United, Bristol City, Preston. And as Pete Winkelman said in the MK News this week, there's always a couple that you don't really think about. Who surprise everybody.
Well, they don't have new owners now, don't they? As well? So they were good last season, but you're right. Like I think Carl Robinson's part of Chesterfield are spending some money, and you might not necessarily expect them to do well, but they might come good. So, but I think Dons have got a good chance this season. I don't think there's anyone to fear at all. But then Doncaster have come down a couple. They've yo-yoed a little bit last couple of years, haven't they? And Doncaster aren't going to be an easy team as well. There's not really any gimmies. There's not many gimmies, I don't think, from that league at all. I'd like to think that Dons can reach the playoffs though this season. I really do. I feel more confident this season than I did last season. I probably wouldn't have said that to you at this point last season, but I feel a bit more confident this season, and I think Carl's actually been given a little bit of money to spend, not massive amounts, but he's actually been given some of the resources to spend. We were told last season that we're not going to mention promotion and all this sort of stuff. Now the vibe from Pete Winkelman is we need to get promoted to further the business, if you like, further the football club and further football in Milton Keynes. And whilst we're not getting that, we are going to get promoted this season. There seems to be more of a drive towards it rather than just, I think last season was a lesson when Wolves came, when Coventry came, that, you can't just market the games to get the crowds, and you've got to have the right opposition here in order to attract and pull in those big crowds, and the only way you're going to do that is via promotion. And I think that's a lesson we sort of learned last season, that you can't just market, things for the fans to come in.
You do wonder if it's a bit of a do or die season with the words coming out of the club. Remember at the Player of the Year awards, everyone was saying that the Championship is a must really to move this club forward. We can't stay at this level, and you sort of wonder if we don't get there, what that means for Carl. Will it be time for someone else to perhaps have a go? Will Pete need to put some more money into the club?
I've asked Carl about this a few months ago, and he doesn't feel it's about him really this season. I think it could. Depends where they are at Christmas. I think really. I think Christmas is going to be an important time. If they're around the playoffs, then I can't see any changes being made or anything like that. If it's mid-table by the Christmas time, then it might be a bit of a struggle. So, I'm not going to come out here and say that Carl but I don't know. Maybe it is. I mean, this is his 5th season now. It's a long time in football. 5 years, nearly 5 years is a hell of a long time. 4 years so far, but perhaps it is a little bit of a do or die season for him. We'll just have to. I think we'll have to see a lot what's happening by Christmas, because then, if you're bringing in a new man, you'd like to think that you're going to give him January to make any changes he wants to make. But it's going to be an interesting season. But I feel quietly confident of a playoff spot, I think, this season. I think that there's maybe some of the I think Deadwood might be slightly harsh, but I think some of those changes have been made, which can only invigorate the team. And I think that's probably a good thing now, and just kick on. I'm looking forward to seeing Dele Alli and Darren Potter. I really am in that centre midfield. I think they're going to be absolute monsters in that central midfield area.
Just finally, we've got to talk about the opening fixtures. Gillingham at home to start. And then following on from that, AFC in the League Cup, and then Peterborough in the league. So you do feel like 2 matches against big rivals. You do feel if you can win both of those, the confidence in the club, the enthusiasm, like it carries through to Christmas, can it? What a boost that would be.
There's a potential there, isn't there? No Dons, I'll probably win those 2 games and then lose to Crawley and Coventry. but no, that's the potential there, massive there, isn't it? get a win against Gillingham and then beat your two closest rivals. It's your two sort of fiercest rivals, if you like. And, I mean, what more motivation to kick on from there, They're massive games. I think people don't seem as bothered about the FC game this time around. I think it's already happened once, and maybe the first time it goes to their ground, it might be a little bit different. Maybe it's a bit bigger then. Maybe the fact it's in the League Cup and not the FA Cup is another reason why it's not as big. But the mood around the club certainly doesn't seem as though this game's as big. But come next week, I think there might be getting a bit more national spotlight, and it might be a little bit different by then. But it's a game you just do not want to lose that at all. I mean, even if you go out on penalties, it's a bit different. You just don't want to lose it, basically. I can imagine that going all the way, because neither side are going to want to lose it as opposed to win it, I think. And then Peterborough, not the best track record at London Road, really.
No, due a win against them.
Yeah, especially with the 9 men last season. It's Peterborough down to 9 men and couldn't find a way past them, and maybe they're just that bogey side. But if they can get, if they can get a result there when they've struggled there in the past against Peterborough, that could be a massive. I mean, what more of a confidence boost could you ask for, really? So that could be really interesting. That and then you'd like to think they can kick on from there. But it's a really, really interesting opening week, that's for sure. Can't wait to get back involved with it.
Yeah, I think everyone's looking forward to it. Thanks very much for listening to the first podcast back. We'll be around throughout the season. Hopefully a good season for MK Dons.
Hopefully.
Thanks very much. See you later.